Hey folks, it's your handler Chris here. Just wanted to say before we jump into the fun madness that's about to befall everybody, we want you all to follow us on Instagram. That's Chaos Engine Pod. That'd be dope. And we get more people there to follow us and see things. And also, if you got a group that you play with, tell them about us. If you get them to listen to us, maybe you convince them to play some Delta Green. Or if you guys are already playing Delta Green, like, fuck yeah, man, that's dope. But get them off of other systems. Get them to play this dope-ass game. Lastly, it would be real cool if whatever you listen to us on, like Apple Music or podcasts, or I know I use like Podcast Addict. If you could rate us on there, preferably 5 stars, that'd be dope. That, pushes the algorithm. There's a whole bunch of shit behind there that the higher ratings we have, the more it gets people to see us. And that's just another way that we can help grow the podcast. Cause obviously we're super, fanatical about this. A lot of it's just us doing it because we're having fun and we wanted to keep it that way. But it'd be dope if more people listen to it. And then, we have talks of expansion. If this gets big enough that we might try to do another show. So that's kind of something we talked about. But first we need to get our numbers up and go through all of that stuff. So that's all I got. Have yourself a wonderful day. Laters. We are here today with Agent Agnes. Hi, how's it going, Misha?
It's going great. I'm glad the holidays are over and
yes,
just a lot less stress and activities to do.
Right? There's no ice anymore. We can actually drive places.
Yeah. Fun fact about Washington State, if it snows even a half inch, no one does anything.
Yeah.
Everything stands still for that moment.
Yeah. There was like freezing rain at one point, and it was wild.
Yeah, lots of TikTok videos on that. Watch all of them. They were great.
My favorite thing was my father-in-law was we got like a big ass generator. I think we talked about this on a previous episode, but we never hooked it up to the breaker. So we could get it to, like, if anything ever goes wrong, we can just plug the generator into the breaker and be good. Mm-hmm. And so all of that goes down, and after everything, it's like, oh, yeah, we'll do it now. It's like, cool, man. Yeah, whenever you're ready. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you're doing this on your own free time. Whenever you show up to do it, it's fine. But it's like after all of the winter shit that happened that potentially would knock out our power, so next year, we're set and we're ready with our generator that could power our house and another house.
Yeah. Well, that's the fun fact about getting a generator. Once you have one, your power never goes out.
Right.
That's what we did.
Well, I have 2. I don't know why. I have another one sitting out there that I need to find someone to give to because, like, I ain't fucking.
Well, you're a straight white American man. Of course you have to.
I don't need it, though.
I mean, you probably have another pair of washer and dryer in your garage, too.
I have a washer.
Because
I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't know. Yeah. Can I just put it on the curb and, like, the garbage people take it? Do I have to, like, take it to the dump? I'm assuming.
You could, but I think they have, like, pickup services for that.
Yeah, but I think I can take it to, like, the waste transfer by our place, and I can drop it off in, like, there. But then my truck doesn't run. I don't know, my truck's a piece of shit. I don't think I can take a fucking washer. So it's like, I gotta find someone with a truck, and then I gotta lift the washer into said truck, and it's just a lot of steps.
So it's easier just to leave it there?
Yeah, because I'm lazy.
No, I respect it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I would say that I could get done too that I don't.
Low key, my plan was if we get our roof done and they come and bring the big the big dumpster, I was hoping when we do that, I could just push it into
without anyone looking.
Well, I'm just going to tell the guy I'm going to throw that shit in there. But, anyway.
Just like all silent, like.
Yeah, the American way. Just, I don't know. So, Misha, this is weird for me because you're the only one who didn't hit a breaking point last mission, and so we don't have to start off with discovering what sort of weird phobia or things you have.
Yeah,
you did it. You were the one who finished the ritual. You burnt the house down.
Yeah,
you left.
Glad to be here.
You pulled everybody else out. Agnes, the young whippersnapper, 18-year-old. Pulled 3 grown-ass men out of that fire and helped everything out.
22, just because I think she had to go post-college. Yeah. But she's a youngin'. But yeah, glad a young female heroine can...
She did it.
More people that around that age and female can listen to this podcast and be inspired.
Right.
Kill your demons.
Literally. So we don't have that to begin off with. So what are you thinking for a home session for Agent Agnes here as we, this kind of nebulous 2-year stretch we have?
Yeah.
What do you see Agnes doing? Obviously, she's probably going to graduate from the FBI Academy at that point, because that's only, like a year and a half thing or whatever.
Yep.
So I think when we pick up in 2019, I think Agnes is probably working at I'm assuming she's got a job with the FBI at some sort of branch office. Do you think she stays is it Langley, where the headquarters is? Does she move somewhere else? Where do you see her in 2019?
Well, I think the headquarters that she went to college with was somewhere around West Virginia or somewhere over there. Yeah. I don't really recall at the moment. I kind of picture her not moving to... Okay, so I kind of picture her being like, okay, she doesn't have a mental illness per se, but I picture her getting more manic.
Okay.
Only because she's seen the man behind the curtain now. Right. She knows that some of the stuff that happened in her childhood wasn't just made up and in her mind. And now she just wants more answers, but no one's there to give it to her.
Right.
So she's just kind of manic, and she kind of wants to stay close to where she was at just in case, like, Delta Green needs to get a hold of her again, or she wants to be easily found, just in case.
Right, it works. And I kind of pictured Agnes as the one who wrote the report and sent it to West after everything was done.
Probably.
I think that Agnes was the one that submitted the final report, and then West would do something with that and whatnot. But I think you were probably the final one who did the debrief with her. Everybody else, didn't want to talk about it, or has too many. Yeah, I think they got to a point where they were able to talk about it and they were able to give details. But I think Agnes is probably the most level-headed one and was able to kind of fill in all the details that others couldn't.
Yeah, I picture her being insanely logical about all this too, and still wanting to know all the answers. Obviously this was some other power, and she wants to figure out where that came from and get the concrete solutions to all this instead of just speculation. She wants the facts.
Right. No, I totally get it. So what do you see her doing as her home activity? In game parlance, what do you see her doing when we get down to the nitty gritty of it? For those who were listening who didn't listen to the other ones, well, you probably would have listened to the other ones. You can fulfill responsibilities. You can go back to nature, establish a new bond. You can go to therapy, improve a skill or a stat. You can do personal motivations, special training. You can stay on the case, or you can study the unnatural.
So I kind of wanted to do a hybrid with this one, just because of the way that I picture her being. I'm saying picture a lot.
That's fine.
So first off, I know that we all kind of lost a power in the last round to extinguish this demon from this plane of existence, and I would like to get that power back. And this, and then the book says some form of meditation or example of that.
Yeah.
And Agnes would probably her solace time where she thinks the most is when she's doing her morning jogs. So I picture her just really owning those morning jogs and making them longer and just more intense, and just kind of using them as a form of meditation rather than a form of working out.
Okay. She kind of gets lost in it at points.
Yeah, and she kind of becomes she goes into a fugue. She just keeps running, and then all of a sudden she becomes self-aware and is wait, how far did I go? And then she's wait, where am I? And she has to look on GPS to get back.
So maybe she starts taking a marathon run.
Yeah. But that's how I picture her getting her power back.
Okay. Yeah, so let's roll for that.
Sure.
So that would be, you got to fail your power test here. So I don't know what your power is currently at.
Power is, it wasn't that bad. Power is, well, I think it was, let's see, the score was 14 and then I lost one, so it was 13.
So 13 times 5 is 45?
No, that's 60.
60, is it? Yeah, it is. So.
Okay, so I have to.
Well, times 13.
Yes.
So it would be a 5, carry the 1, so 65.
65.
Right?
Oh.
5 times 13, 65?
You know what? I did write 65, but the line is through the... Oh, anyway.
That's cool. We'll do math. We'll get there.
Okay. So... I got an 80.
Okay, well, you failed, so you get your point back.
Okay, cool.
So, you are up to 14 again.
Sweet.
And what do you want to do for your skill?
So for the skill, this is the hybrid kind of thing, because I know that unnatural skill is uncommon. I didn't want to abuse that. And, like, of course, you're not going to get 3d6 of uncommon or skill. So I was thinking a compromise of doing, like, a little bit of study the unnatural, because she would be completely obsessed with discovering more about what happened in that house. So I was thinking about just rolling 1d4 to get more.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So what is she doing to study the unnatural?
Well, I kind of think that she would be a little bit of a delinquent, not play things by the book, and steal something from the last house.
I think it would make sense to study the natural if she kept the journal.
Okay.
That had all, like, the crone, that talked about the crone's rituals and stuff like that. And then maybe she will start looking more into, like, Nyarlathotep and some of the other stuff around. I think that would make sense to me.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a hard copy. Yeah. All right, so 1d4.
So.
That's a nat 1. So, oh well.
There you go. So, you gain 1 point, but you're going to lose 1d4 sanity with another, with one of your bonds.
Okay, that's fine. College roommate can go suck it. Okay.
So I think, normally you would have to roll for the skill, but I'm fine saying that. We'll just give you the 1. Because it makes sense with the book and everything, but you're going to lose the willpower points or the bond points. So you get the 1 point, so roll the d4 now for how many points you're going to lose.
Well, that's a 4.
Oh, you lose 4 points with that kid. Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's the best friend, right? Or the...
So how do you think that's going to manifest for her? Like, do you think just after they graduate, they stop talking? Does Agnes kind of blow up at her or, like, make some sort of comment that pisses her off? Or what? How do you think that comes about?
I think it's just going to be when Agnes comes back and she starts to be more withdrawn and, like, more obsessed with something, but can't share it with everyone, of course. She has to, like, keep this to herself. She's not doing as much, like, social events, like going out to lunch with her best friend, and her best friend was, like, the only other female cadet, so, like, that's what they bonded over.
Yeah.
And because Agnes kind of withdrew from that, no more social events, the roommate kind of, like, held back and found companionship in other places. Gotcha. And didn't ask her to lunch anymore.
Stop inviting her out. Just kind of would show them, but like, hey, and then just kind of go back to what they're doing.
Yeah, a little bit more of that.
Okay. This is never like, how was your day? It's very just like, hey, I'm here, I'm back, or something like that. There's never...
Yeah.
Well,
like, you changed.
Because 4 is a lot. What's your score with them now?
41.
Your bond score, sorry.
Bond score?
Yeah, you have a bond score with your roommate.
Oh, I wrote 41.
You can't have 41.
Okay, so what did I do wrong?
So you can only have up to, like, a certain amount of points with the bond. So it's like 3 or 4 points.
Oh, okay, then maybe I timed something and wasn't supposed to. Okay, or maybe it was like a 4 instead of a 40? Maybe I wrote 40 for some reason?
So if you have 4, then it would be down to 0. So you've erased that bond.
Okay, let's just go with that. Because I don't know what I did.
No, that's fine. So there's actually
best friend.
Well, there's actually ramifications to that.
All right.
So I got to find those in the book. So give me a sec here. Beep, beep, beep. The rest of the book might be different too. So once I find the page, I'll tell you what it's on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone else had to pick something that was wrong with them, and then it only makes sense that I lost something. Screw you, best friend. I picture her name being like Samantha.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, so when you do a bond, it would have been each bond begins with a score equal to your charisma character or charisma.
Charisma.
So what's your charisma stat?
Charisma stat, not score?
Yes,
12. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you would add 12 points with them then?
Okay. No, I don't know what I did wrong then.
So
it would be down to...
Each bond begins with a score equal to your character's charisma. The bond score often deteriorates because of your agent's involvement with Delta Green. So...
Maybe I times those by... I don't know.
You could have times those by it, yeah. So there you go. So you have not destroyed that bond with them completely.
Okay, so it was minus 4, so 8.
Yep.
Okay.
So there you go. So, perfect. I'm glad we figured that out.
I was looking forward to ramifications. It's like, how can I get away scot-free so many times?
Cool. So I think we see you pulling the book out, and you're kind of reading it more and more about what's going on with like the Dark Man and all of these kind of rituals that happened and the animal sacrifice, and maybe you're trying to find other instances of that within other, I will say cults or societies or something like that. You're doing more researches into that and like seeing what parallels you can find.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a good trigger to bring it back to what got Agnes into Delta Green.
Mm-hmm.
And so this isn't necessarily Agnes's complete background. This is just the instance in which it put her onto the Delta Green's watch list.
Yep.
So we focus in on Agnes in college. This is probably a couple months before she's gone into the FBI program, and we find her in the library of her college. What college did she go to?
West Virginia University.
Okay. Perfect. So there are rows of books just aisles and aisles of books that fill our view as we pan down each of these aisles, and it's just aisle after aisle of book. And it's got that kind of library used bookstore smell. You know what I'm talking about. If you've been within a used bookstore, you get that smell.
So sweet.
And we occasionally see students walking past. Maybe we pass a group of tables and we see university students working on various projects, or just sitting there reading whatever textbooks they're reading, or books, or do what you do in libraries. And eventually we settle on the true crime section. We see a slightly younger Agent Agnes as she's thumbing through books. She's scanning each book title carefully, trying to select a case that she can use for her thesis to graduate from college. Once she has a case, she can write a breakdown on it, analyze it in order to pass her last class. That's kind of her plan right now. After that, she'll apply for the FBI Academy, and there's the wait to see if she gets selected. Her eyes are drawn to a title. Dusty Burke, Lambs to the Slaughter. She picks up the book and looks it over. The book is written by Harrison Thompson. It's published in 1976. She starts to flip through the book and finds a compelling story of a man who started his own small-town church in Arkansas and slowly watched it blossom and grow in strength. When police raided the compound, they found strange symbols painted on the walls and a reference to something called Shub Nagaroth. It's really close to a bad word.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a bad one. I probably should have picked a different one there. As she digs further and further into the book, she is gripped by the accounts of this cult and the fertility rituals that she knows, and this is it. This is what she needs for her thesis. So she begins to dive further into the story. She's searching for other books on Dusty Burke and what happened in 1976 in this small town. And as she scours the internet, she can't find anything. Any search of the book title, any search of the author turns up nothing. And all she has to go off of is this book in her possession. 2 weeks go by, and Agnes is closing in on finishing her paper. And that's when she receives a knock at her. Are you in a dorm or an apartment, you think, at this point in college?
In college, probably a dorm.
Okay. You hear a knock on your dorm door. I think you kind of walk out and you look out the people, and you see two men who are in suits that are standing out in the hallway in front of your door. One of them knocks again, says, "Ma'am, we know you're in there. Please open the door. We need to talk." What does Agnes do?
I'm gonna say, yeah, she's politely as she can, because she's a sweet Southern gal and she knows that modern niceness is go a long way. She's just gonna be like, what's this in regards to?
The man on the other side of the door is like, we believe you're in possession of something that's probably, well, you shouldn't be in possession of, and we'd like to discuss it with you, possibly get it back.
Oh, at that point, she, like, immediately opens the door and then steps aside, and she's like, I got nothing to hide.
And so these two men walk in, they close the door behind you, and they kind of look at you, standing, like, in this dormitory space, almost like most dorms back then were, like, basically just like a studio apartment.
Yeah, they're so tiny.
At least the ones I went to, my buddy stayed in one at Central Washington, and it was tiny. And so, yeah, they're kind of looking at you, and they're just like, ma'am, we're under the impression that you found a book on Dusty Burke. Is that true?
That true crime story that I found in the library?
Yeah, you said you found it in the library here?
Yes, sir, I did.
You see them kind of like look at each other like... And there's no other copies that you were aware of?
I did not find any on the shelf, sir.
Alright, we need to, how much of that did you read?
Well, all of it. I'm writing my thesis on it, sir.
And they kind of look at each other like, that's not going to be possible, man. We're sorry about that. We're going to have to take that book from you, and you're going to have to find a different thing to write up on.
It's almost due. I'm not into late theses, sir.
And they kind of look at each other, and like one of them nods, and you see he like pulls out like a pre-written thesis, and he like puts it in front of, like holds it out to you. He's like, we believe this should be sufficient to get you past what you need.
That's classy.
If you're willing to work with us here and give us that book and destroy your old thesis, we'll turn this in for you, and we can put a recommendation in at the FBI, which we know you're aiming for.
And she kind of like slowly takes the paper from the man and like skims it over real quick, just to like, you know.
Yeah, it's well written. I mean, it's written on like, you know, we'll say Ted Bundy or something like that.
Okay.
It's a well written. You kind of flip through it, and they're just like, yeah, it's like, trust me, it's going to get you a passing grade. Like we're confident in that.
She kind of side eyes both of them, not really sure what's going on, and she's just like kind of nods her head slowly, and she's like, all right.
And they're like, can we get the book, please? I'm kind of just waiting for you to hand it to him.
Yeah, she just walks over to the table and then like hands him the what she was working on, and then like the hard copies of like she does like laptop stuff and then like desktop stuff. Yeah. So she handed him all the paperwork and stuff, and then she's like, do you want me to delete the files?
If we could watch you delete it, that'd be great.
And yeah, she does.
Yeah. And so they're just like, awesome, well, we really appreciate that. And they're just like, so you read the whole thing, huh? You got everything about what they found within the compound?
Oh, yeah. It was a very intriguing story.
And they're kind of looking at each other like, when you get into the FBI, you might run into some of those things, and we might be able to help you out with that. And they hand you over a card with a green triangle on it and a number with no name or anything. Like, give us a call. I think we can help you out there. You might be able to be a benefit to us as well.
She's still really confused, and she's like, oh, all right, sir, thank you.
Yeah. And we see them kind of just like back out the door, close it behind them, and they're off on their merry way. And I think we kind of smash cut now to like, it's 2019. Agnes is at her desk job working on some mundane report that she doesn't give a shit about.
She does not.
And we see her phone buzz on the table, and she looks down at it, and there is a text from a number she does not know, and it just simply says, we need to talk. And there is a picture of a black outline of someone that looks like Agnes on a wall, and underneath it, someone has written Agnes, spray painted Agnes on the wall underneath this painting, and it looks like it's in an alleyway. There's brick walls. You can see maybe an entryway to something, you know, like a back door or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But Agnes's has, it looks like two horns have been spray painted coming out of her head.
Oh, dear.
And you just see, we need to talk.
Oh, okay. So I kind of see her. During this last 2 years, she's been a little bit manic to get more and more information about whatever supernatural thing she can. And she's tried to contact Delta Green. And all the numbers that she had were disconnected, like doo-doo-doo.
Yeah,
and like,
nothing went through. Yeah.
And she could not, for the life of her, get back to Delta Green. Or find... She doesn't know the other agent's real name, so it's impossible to, connect with those guys. So she's just been, like, on this what is life path of trying to get back to whatever Delta Green behind the curtain thing she could get to. So the instant that her phone rang with an unknown number with that picture, she'd like pick it up and then run to the bathroom at the whatever office building and then like close the door, lock it, like the entire bathroom, not just like...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they probably have like single bathroom ones.
Yeah, and then she'd like immediately call the number.
And you call the number and you hear a familiar voice on the other end that says, West here.
Agent Agnes is way too hype about this. She's like, hello, yes, hi, this Agent Agnes here. Is this West? Is this her?
Agnes, it's good to hear from you.
Oh.
I'm assuming you got the photo?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Excellent. We need to meet up with everybody. That photo was taken from Ellensburg, Washington. And I don't, it seems weird that it would appear 2 years after everything that happened. But it's there, and I want to send you guys in to figure out why. So I will send you another text here soon with the meeting place. We're going to meet up with the rest of our cell, and we're going to get this figured out.
Yes, of course. Anytime, any place I am there, you can count on me.
Great to hear. If we reach out to you again, and it's not me, do not trust what they tell you. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And Agnes, I want... None of the other ones had horns on their heads like yours. So I want you to be careful. You wrote the main report. From what I understand, you're the one who finished off the ritual.
I am, ma'am.
I'm afraid that, you might be a target for whatever... I'm just letting you know, I'm nervous on this one.
I appreciate your concern, ma'am.
Yeah. It's like if they put horns on you and nobody else, I feel that means they're going to maybe target you, or you might be a person of interest in whatever's going on there. So I'll keep in touch. I'll let you guys know what's happening. We'll meet up again soon.
Thank you, ma'am. I just want to let you know that I'm not the same girl that you met too. Oh, okay. All right. That was perfect, actually. She's like so excited. She's like had this huge speech like she was planning for 2 years and it got cut off.
Just cut off.
So good. I love it.
And I think we fade out from there I think Agnes probably has this like giddy look on her face. Like there's an excitement there.
Yeah.
That she has to like stifle back down and then like get to her desk job and
for sure
finish out whatever mundane shit she has to do.
Oh, she's so excited. She doesn't care. She's under the thing like where like I'll never die. She's in her early 20s. She's not gonna. She's so happy to get back out there and find more answers. And like I don't know. I don't know how she's gonna act when she sees the other agents again. But like I don't think she'll be like super hyped because she'll try to be like professional. But she'll still be like.
I love it. And we'll see how the second mission plays out here. Thank you, Misha.
Oh, thank you. This was awesome.